Okay everybody, this is video number 2 on how to use Dedoose for your Dedoose assignment. And this video will cover codes, how to enter your codes into Dedoose so that you can use them to code your media. Okay, so you see over here on the home page, I've already entered a couple. I've entered also, since the last video, some more. I have about 29 in here now. You will pick 16. So I have a lot of excerpts of your responses, and then I've looked them over and read them closely, followed some themes, and come up with a few different codes. Now, it's not super thorough, but there are just a few. So one is a theme that emerged was that a lot of people said they want to become OTs to make a difference. And that is what I would call a parent code. So these are my words, to make a difference, and I chose them because they seem to sum up your words, which were wanting to help people. That came up frequently, and wanting to work in the medical field was another thing that was said a lot. And a few people also added wanting to make a difference. So I clumped all these together, and I have a parent code to make a difference and 2 child codes, wanting to help people and wanting to work in the medical field. So right here on this front page, we're in the home, see the little home box? We're in the home page. You can add codes right here. You can also go to the codes page and add codes here, because it has the little plus sign in the circle. So this is where I made them, so this is where I'm going to go back. I have the previous experiences and exposure was another category that I made based on a number of observations. So right now what I'm going to do, I'll go back and show you what I'm going to do. When you have a parent code, previous experience and exposure to OT, then you can go over here and add a child code. When you scroll over it, it says add a child code. So I'm going to add a child code, and my child code is going to be shadowing an occupational therapist. A lot of people said that shadowing an OT was something that led them to wanting to become one. So I write it in, and then I hit submit. We're going to ignore the tag waiting. So we're not going to do that for this assignment. So there it is, poof, shadowing an OT child code. Add another one. So I'm going to add another child code, not to the shadowing and OT, but up here to previous experience and exposure. I'm going to add some kind of personal experience, a family member or a neighbor or a person's personal experience with OT, being exposed to OT. So someone, a family member, neighbor. No one said self, but if there was someone who said that they had OT themselves, I would put that in this category, had OT. Okay, personal experience with OT, shadowing an OT. I'll put one more child code in there. I might say a number of people were exposed to OT in their undergrad at some time. So undergrad, kind of school exposure. And submit. And I could go on for as many subcategories of previous experience or exposure with OT. I could keep adding those in. So now I have 2 parent categories, lots of child categories. I want to add another parent category. So I go up here, I also call a root code. I'm going to say, a lot of people said there was a theme of it aligns with my values. So alignment with personal values. And in the parent codes, I sometimes will say includes a holistic approach to medical care and a good fit personally. Submit. And there it is, alignment with personal values, and I'll add a child code, holistic approach. And I'll submit. So it's really important that you decide on your coding scheme before you do any actual connecting of media and coding the actual quotes in Dedoose. So it's also important. It's easier to add something to your coding scheme, but it's time consuming because then you have to go back through every single quote and add the thing you've added. So it's a bummer but possible to add to your coding scheme. But if you want to take something out of your coding scheme, then everything that's connected to that gets, all those codes get deleted. So it's a lot more work if you want to take something out of your coding scheme, or if you want to rearrange your coding scheme. That's a pain. So spend the time on the front end deciding on the coding scheme that you want, and then once you put it in, you want to use it to connect your quotes, but not change it. So you can watch that again until you're able to get your codes in. You go back to your home page and boom, there they are. So now we've got all our data and all our codes. We also have some demographics. I have 29 people in, so about half are between 25 and 28. About a fourth are 29 and over, a little more than a fourth, 29 and under. Mostly female, but a good 13.8% of men. And then about half of you want to go into pediatrics, then a little more than half of that half, 31% physical disabilities, and 17.2% mental health. All right. So the next video will be about actually coding.